Lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice. Poor man working for the rich man. Rich man don't care about the poor.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of his chosen queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka Dejazmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man. I'm an entertainment attorney, I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of The Lion Voice. And you know what day it is? It is Wednesday. So that means we're here for another edition of Lion Law. Welcome to the Lion Voice Network. And it is a pleasure again to see the growth, to watch the organic growth of the channel, to see the comments, to read the comments, the messages of appreciation that are coming from Lion Pride as you get the knowledge and you share the knowledge, because I always say it's not just myself, but we are building a community here. And part of that ecosystem, part of that community is that I always want to speak to my creatives and the creative family. As a fellow creative, I want to add value to my fellow creatives by sharing perspective in the industry that I love, the creative industry, otherwise known as the orange economy. And today we're going to continue in our series, which is building your team. Success is a team sport. Teamwork makes the dream work. So we're going to continue our first part. You know, we did an overview of all of the aspects you need. We're looking at it from a music artist perspective. And we look at all the aspects of what are the essential team members that you need as an independent artist to make it in the modern music industry. And then now we're starting to break down the things into smaller components. So we had an episode, we talked about you, which I said was, or the I, or the artist, which I said was the most important member of the team. The second most important, I said, was the audience. So we talked about the audience, and you know, we're talking from a legal perspective for the most part, although knowledge of the industry is important. So we're just giving elements that you need for these parts to protect yourself from a legal perspective, or just things you need to be thinking of from a legal perspective. And then after the audience, we talked about the entertainment attorney, which we said was next. Now, the topic that I want to talk about today is one that is essential, and this topic and the next one that I'm going to do, depending on how you move, could be seen as interchangeable. So those two are the music publisher and the music artist manager. I'm going to talk about management today because I've been doing my due diligence, and a lot of artists have this question. The reason why I would say it could be interchangeable is because the reality is that most artists are not going to get a manager until they have something to manage. They have some revenue. We're going to talk about that more in depth. And in today's modern music industry, through platforms like the CD Baby, the TuneCore, the DistroKid, you can easily sign up for an administrative publishing deal, have your publishing sorted long before you step out into the world and get a manager or some type of management relationship. I also want to tailor this to the reggae and dancehall family because that is the part of the industry in which I'm active. My client base predominantly comes from reggae and dancehall, although we have clients from other genres. So I want to really tailor some of this message to the reggae and dancehall family because the reality is that most of the time, man first manager is his brethren. So we're going to talk about the different types of managers, and then we're going to talk about the practical reality, how up and coming young artists can tailor his, or even an artist like myself who older but still new, because me still not go out there yet in a real way. I have music out there, as the Lion Pride will know very well, because we play the music on all of the episodes. It's a sit down. Some of this music has been sitting for years. So, as we build out the ecosystem, we're putting it out there, we're testing, we're feeling out. We put out the mixtape. It's there, so you can support that as well. So everything I say, again, is applicable to myself. I'm part of the joy of being a part of this journey with the Lion Voice Network is that you get to see me live what I practice, what I preach. And that to me is part of the joy of this journey. So everything that we're talking about, we ourselves have to actively implement for the artist side. And I always tell people the artist side vex because, there's so many different elements. You have the author who get to launch a book. You have the actionists who've been on the front line within the Rastafari movement for over 20 years. You have, the artists that, of all of the aspects that I pride myself, the artist has got the short end of the stick. But when the artist time comes, it's going to be massive. So I never have no doubt about that. But again, manager, and I've been approached by management, teams that I've held off because of my knowledge, and management is not something you should jump into very quickly. And knowing how I want to tailor my journey as an artist, I have to make sure that I tailor it the right way. Now, that being said, let's jump into the topic of the artist manager. First and foremost, what does a manager do? Well, the short answer is depending on what type of manager. You have different types of managers. For the independent artists, you are the first manager, and this is why I say you is number one on the team building, because in the early part of your journey, you're going to have to play every role. So you have to know what the different roles of a manager are. For example, you have your day-to-day manager, you have a road manager, you have a business manager, you have, for bigger artists, you will have a production manager, you could have a tour manager, you could have a tech manager. There are many aspects of your career that need management. In the modern era, you could have a digital marketing manager. And a lot of times one manager may be playing all of these roles, and then you have your artist manager as well. So there are all of these different types of management, and it depends on where you are in your journey as to which one of these managers you're going to interact with. So this video, we're not going to get too in depth, because as I said, when the video them get too long, Missy say the ones them lose interest. We can see by the analytics how much of the videos people are watching. So I don't want to make them video too long. But big up everyone who watches the videos to the end, because some of the items do. So I have to big up the Lion Pride. Remember, if you subscribe, you're part of the Lion Pride. And I have to big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. There were two of us for a very long time, two Fire Angels. We now have three fire angels, and I had ones just reach out. So that's 3 is going to be expanding very shortly. Again, doing the work. And as a content creator, you have to be patient. It may not happen at the speed you want or the rate you want, but as long as you're growing, you have to give thanks. Don't look to what you don't have, you look to what you have. So I have to big up everyone that has been supporting the platform. So this video, we're gonna just talk about the day-to-day manager, because these are the managements that are most applicable in the Jamaica reggae dancehall sphere. The day-to-day manager, the road manager, the business manager, and then the overall kind of artist management. We're going to talk about these things and how you need to frame, and then we're going to talk about what are some of the essential aspects of a management agreement. And just looking at the time, I might split this up into 2 episodes because again, I don't want it to be too long. So let's jump into it. So your business manager is the person who is watching the money, and ideally the business manager and the artist manager should be 2 different people, because you want the person watching your money is not necessarily the person who's dealing with the overall. You want an accountant, somebody who has a specific skill set, who can manage the accounts, invest the money, make sure that your money is making you money. Because again, you're a small business, so just like any small business entity, your money part of the business should be managed by an accountant. So that is your business manager. The artist manager is someone who has the creativity. They have more than anything relationships. They can get things done. They have the network to put you into position to succeed. And they have a creative vision for you as an artist to map overall. So the artist manager may not be doing everything for you. They may be someone who knows how to delegate, but they can see the vision, they see the greatness in you, and they have the networks in order to help you to get to where you are. Most early artists or artists coming up don't get to the artist manager, because these managers, typically you're gonna have to have something to manage. And let's talk about compensation. How do managers get paid? Before I do that though, let me jump back and talk about the day-to-day manager, which is the person who's managing you day to day. Some artists need a babysitter because they have bad behavior, all these things. They need someone to tell them, don't do that. We're in the situation right now, as I record this, there's a brethren in the NBA. He's not music industry. John Moran, people who watch basketball know he was waving a gun. Brethren live stream and catch him a wave a gun. Your day-to-day manager, if he was an artist, would be the person that makes sure so that don't happen. You know, he's riding with him, and when Ja take out the gun and dance, him say, no, don't bother with her. When him see the friend and take out the phone, him slap the phone out of him friend hand, and you know, you're watching, making sure that the asset doesn't destroy itself. That's the day-to-day manager. Then you have the road manager, which is the person who goes on tour with you, making sure that they're collecting money. They're the firewall between you and the promoters, you and the vendor, making sure everything is getting done, coordinating with all of the members of your team. And I did the episode that I did about you, I talked about the essential people that you need to have in your entourage. So the road manager was one of them, and the road manager is managing all of those people around you so that you can stay in your creative zone. So let's talk about now compensation. How does the manager get paid? In the music industry, typically the management is typically getting anywhere between 15 and 20% of the gross revenue. So this is very important because you heard how many different types of managers. So when you're splitting up the pie, you have to be cognizant of this. Most artists in the Jamaican music industry, their brethren is going to be their manager or family member, someone. And here is the issue. Most of the time that person doesn't have the industry connection. That person doesn't have what it really takes to get you to that next level. But they're probably the first person who believe in you and who can be with you to make you kind of look professional. But ultimately, these people, most of the time, are going to fall into the day-to-day. In the best case scenario, they're going to fall into the day-to-day manager because it's your day one. You always have them with you. But it's very important that you establish early that eventually you're probably going to have to get an actual artist manager, someone who's in the industry full-time, has the connection, has the and this is where a lot of us in the reggae and dancehall stagnate, because we never make that transition from the day-to-day manager, which is your brethren, to linking up with an actual person who can, get the endorsements deal. And a manager, artist manager, is essentially a salesperson. They're selling you as a product, getting you endorsement deals. They're getting you, they're building your brand as an artist so that you can increase your revenue streams. Your day-to-day don't have the knowledge, but what you want to do is have that conversation with your brethren early on. Me and you are going to move together, but eventually I'm going to have to bring on someone. And this is important because instead of you signing an agreement with your day-to-day manager where you're giving them 20%, and then when another manager comes in that can take you to that next level, you don't have nothing, or you're giving up more to the pie, and then you come out on the short end. You can compensate your day-to-day manager in a manner that still leaves room so that you have something to offer an actual artist manager when you get to that level where it makes sense for them to come into the picture, or when you're noticed and they can take you to the next level. Very crucial. So again, the time is going. I could go so deep. I'm gonna make this a two-part episode on management, because this is one of the areas, particularly in the Jamaica music industry, where we're lacking. It's something that we've talked about at the Jamaica Music Conference. Management is something that is a consistent ask, where artists are trying to find good management. It's one of the areas where we break down as an industry in the lack of professional conduct, because people not being managed properly. Their brethren is there, so they're telling their brethren, they're managing their brethren who's supposed to be managing them. The brethren don't want to tell them no, because that is how they might eat food. So the brethren become a yes man to the artist, and a manager needs to manage, which is why you need someone with that industry with those industry connections, who's not afraid to tell the artist no. So much to talk about. All of my industry people, because I may have some big time industry people who subscribe to the channel. What did I miss? All of the managers who watch the channel, drop some comments. Let me know so we can keep this. If you're an artist, drop your questions, your concerns, your experiences. Let's get the conversation going. People, please. Also, do remember we have a fresh shipment of Haile Selassie's Ethiopia. Get your signed copy. Perfect gift that it can make. We're building the Patreon if you want to be a part of the core of this Lion Voice network, which will be the largest Rastafari network and the second largest streaming platform on YouTube. We're claiming the victory. If you want to be a part of the uprising from early, join us on the Patreon, the Lion Pride. We're going to do mighty things in the earth as we build, invest, and see what I do with that investment. Big up the Lion Pride. You see the mics was purchased by the contributions from the Lion Pride. We're just getting started. We want to build a production studio in Africa, in Ghana, and we're going to share more details. The vision continues to grow, continues to evolve as we plan out. And again, it's a unique opportunity to be part of something from the genesis. Some of you are here from 10 subscribers. We're over 850 strong subscribers. We're pushing to hit 1,000 subscribers by June 1st. So like, share, watch the videos. Let's boost the algorithm, because again, the time has come for the lions to own our own story, IP law. And this is the Lion Voice.
Lion Voice. Poor man working for the rich man. Rich man don't care about the poor, but look along the rich man own the poor man land. The poor say him can't take it no more, but look along the poor man working for the rich man. Rich man don't care about the poor, but look along the rich man own the poor man land. The poor say him can't take it no more. One day he started chanting, give me some land. Want get some land, wanna build my own house, be my own man then. Give me some land, want get some land, I wanna raise some little baby with a pretty black woman. Dirty Babylon, them want to stop the movement, stop the family, them bring down unemployment. Them want the black woman become a single parent. No daddy can about if Babylon no pay your rent. Without the Vatican servants start the enslavement. Buckingham get rich off of this slave shipment. Uncle Sam no want no reparation argument. Them just provide opportunities for prison sentence. Who profits from a whole community's imprisonment? This a big man up at top account him dollars and cents. Now the poor man working for the rich man. Rich man don't care about the poor, but look along the rich man own the poor man land. The poor say him can't take it no more, but look along the poor man working for the rich man. Rich man don't care about the poor, but look along the rich man own the poor man land. The poor say him can't take it no more. One day they started chanting, give me some land. Want get some land, tell the African Union a black man a African.